Hello, dear students. In this lecture, we'll discuss about the one of the more important topic of your syllabus, that is nothing but the biofertilizer. And in this, we will discuss about the what is the meaning of biofertilizer, what is the use of biofertilizer, and how it can be helpful to increase the soil fertility, and what are the benefits of biofertilizer. So, one by one, we will discuss. As we know, biofertilizer technology is not a new concept. Biofertilizer concept goes back as early as 300 BC, that is before Christ, when our ancestors realized the importance of legume crop bearing roots. So when they observed that leguminous plants having the root nodules at their, or we can say nodule formation at the roots, and these are nothing but the nodule formation between it is microbial association of plants and bacteria. They are helpful for the nitrogen fixation. So the perspective of biofertilizer came into existence through the discovery of many organisms capable of nitrogen fixation, phosphate solubilization, and micronutrient transformation in the soil. So as discovery moving forward, you can say the new aspects are studied with respect to the agriculture or role of microbes with respect to nitrogen fixation, phosphate solubilization, and micronutrient transformation. That concept of biofertilizer becomes a more important aspect with respect to the soil fertility. So we'll discuss about the what is meant by the biofertilizer. Before that, we discuss about the what is meant by the biofertilizer. They are nothing but the chemically synthesized fertilizer, which when we apply to the soil, it help or to complete the requirement of the croplands and helpful for the increase the profit of particular plants, or you can say that plants. So when we talk about the biofertilizer nothing but the they are produced from the microorganisms or living entities. So when we discuss about the, what is meant by biofertilizer with respect to the definition. So biofertilizer are defined as a biologically active product or microbial inoculants of bacteria, algae, and fungi separately or in a combination, which may help biological nitrogen fixation, solubilization, and mobilization of other nutrients for the benefits of the plants. So it is nothing but the definition of biofertilizer. So in this we can see or we can discuss it is nothing but the active forms of microbial inoculants, either it is bacteria, algae, or fungi, or we can combinedly use these microorganisms as a biofertilizer, and which can be helpful for the nitrogen fixation, solubilization, and mobilization of other essential nutrients in the soil, and which can be helpful to increase the fertility of soil or soil fertility, and ultimately results in the increase in the crop yields. In other words, biofertilizer refers to the preparation containing live microbes which help in enhancing the soil fertility either by fixing atmospheric nitrogen, solubilization of phosphorus, or decomposing organic waste, or by enhancing plant growth by producing growth hormones. So these are nothing but the benefits of the biofertilizer with respect to the soil fertility. Now we discuss about the what are the significance of biofertilizer, why we are using biofertilizer, or why we are studying biofertilizer. As the use of biofertilizer leads to the increased productivity. As in last slide we have discussed that biofertilizer help in the fixation of nitrogen which can be available in the environment, but plants and animals are unable to fix that particular nitrogen, so that microorganisms are helpful and that convert that environmental nitrogen into usable form so that plant absorb that nitrogen and carry out their metabolic processes. Apart from they are helpful in the solubilization of phosphorus and essential nutrients which are required for the food. So as use of biofertilizer leads to the increased crop productivity, as we have already discussed. Biofertilizer replace a 25 to 30% chemical fertilizer that leads to the damage in soil texture. As when we discuss about the side effect of chemical fertilizer or excessive use of chemical fertilizer, it leads to the loss of soil fertility, and the soil texture can be changed. And by using biofertilizer, we can overcome that problem caused by the use of chemical fertilizer. So up to 25 to 30%, we can replace by means of biofertilizer. In comparison to chemical fertilizer, biofertilizer are cheap and have no side effects on the soil health. As they are from biological origin or from microorganisms, uh, they didn't have any side effect or soil fertility or soil health, and they are cheap as compared to the chemical fertilizer. Use of biofertilizer is both economical and environmental friendly. So by using that, we can minimize the different um, aspect with respect to the chemical fertilizer. Due to that, cost wise or with respect to yield of plants, we can overcome by using the biofertilizer. So what are the microorganisms used as a biofertilizer? So firstly, we'll discuss about the symbiotic nitrogen fixer, and it is nothing but the rhizobium species, we can say, enter into symbiotic relationship with leguminous plants, as we have discussed in last slide, that they are involved in the nodule formation process with the plants, and it is nothing but the association between plant roots and microorganisms. And when they enter into the that soil, or we can say they enter into symbiotic relationship with the leguminous plants, they fix atmospheric nitrogen, and thus not only increase the production of inoculated crop, but also leave a fair amount of nitrogen in the soil, which benefit the subsequent. As their nodal formation process, we can observe only in the case of Leguminaceae family. But as the microorganisms continuously carry out their process of conversion of or fixation of nitrogen, they release or maintain a high amount of nitrogen in the soil, and which can be helpful for the subsequent crop which we are taking that particular soil. So it is nothing but the in case of rhizobium species, and they are symbiotic nitrogen. Another group of microorganisms, they are nothing but the non-symbiotic nitrogen fixer, like azotobacter and azospirillum. Azotobacter and azospirillum, when applied to rhizosphere, fix atmospheric nitrogen and make it available to the crop plants. They also synthesize growth promoting substances which are helpful for the plants. So these are the benefits of microorganisms which can be used as a biofertilizer, or due to these benefits, we are using that microorganisms as a biofertilizer. Apart from that, blue-green alga, anabenine association with the azolla, or they are nothing but the blue-green group of alga, they can also use as a biofertilizer. So blue-green alga and azolla constitute a system which is the main source of algal fertilizer. Blue-green alga inoculation without azolla with culture of algal genera Anabena, nostoc, or Acilabria have been found to be more effective than a single culture. So these organisms are also used as a biofertilizer. Apart from that, some phosphate stabilizing microorganisms like Bacillus, Pseudomonas, Penicillium, Aspergillus, they convert non-available inorganic phosphate into soluble or organic phosphate, which can be utilized by the crop plants and also leads to increase the soil fertility as well as crop yield. So these are the microorganisms which are used as the biofertilizer. Apart from that, mycorrhiza, it is nothing but the again symbiotic association of crop plants, or we can plant roots and fungus. So it is again a symbiotic association. Fungus absorb nutrients from the soil which are required to the host cells. In turn, fungus takes their food from the host. So it is when we discuss about the symbiotic association or positive association among the microbes and plants, we have already discussed that mycorrhiza already. Apart from that, cellulitic microorganisms are also mm, helpful for the uh, crop productivity. Uh, Cellulitic microorganisms enhance the degradation of organic matter which are present in the soil, as well as enhance the rate of decomposition of compost pits. So they are also helpful. Organic fertilizer like manure, compost, vermicompost, these are also considered as a biofertilizer, as they are um, involved in the increasing the soil fertility and crop plots. Knopf and Hitler, 1895, produced the first rhizobium biofertilizer under the brand name nitrogen for 17 different leguminous plants. So it is nothing but the discovery about biofertilizer. In this slide, we can see these are nothing but the different microorganisms when grown on a particular media plate, how they observe or how they look like. We can see in this, we can say these are nothing but the growth of rhizobium on a particular media. These are nothing but the growth of or colony of the azotobacter species. These are nothing but the phosphate solubilizing bacterial colony. These are nothing but the blue-green algae, azospirillum, and mycorrhiza. As we can see in this slide, these are nothing but the use as a biofertilizer. So now we discuss about the how to produce biofertilizer. So biofertilizer can be produced in either in liquid form or we can say in the carrier-based form. So biofertilizer can be produced as a liquid-based preparation or carrier-based preparation. Liquid-based biofertilizer involves culturing of microorganisms in a liquid nutrient medium, whereas carrier-based biofertilizer involves the mixing of microbial broth culture with the carrier material like peat soil, lignite, vermiculite, charcoal powder, fresh mud, farmyard manure, and soil mixture. And finally, they are supplied to the farmer in packing format or in packet. So these are nothing but the two different forms you can use as a biofertilizer. In liquid form, we can culture the particular biofertilizer organism in a liquid media and can be used as a biofertilizer. Apart from that, when we use a carrier-based biofertilizer, we have to use different peat soil or we can say charcoal powder and that microorganisms which are in symbiotic nitrogen fixer or non-symbiotic nitrogen fixer, and we can supply to that particular farmer. And before culturing, they can activate that particular organisms and apply to the seed. We can see it with the seed treatment part. And this way, we can also use biofertilizer. Liquid-based biofertilizer has a longer shelf life, easy to produce, temperature tolerant, high cell count, contamination free, and more effectiveness. As they are above, these are nothing but the benefits of liquid biofertilizer over carrier-based biofertilizer. Carrier-based biofertilizer are cheap, easier to produce, and less investment is required for the carrier-based biofertilizer. So these are nothing but the differences between liquid-based and carrier-based preparation of biofertilizer. Now, what are the benefits of biofertilizer or use of biofertilizer? These are nothing but they supply the mixture of nutrients for the crop plants, or they also use in the increasing the soil fertility. They maintain the symbiotic relation between plant roots and microbes, maintain microbial consortia in a soil. They enhance the crop production. They also suppress soil-borne pathogenic diseases in the crop, and they also improve the soil health. So these are nothing but the benefits of biofertilizer. So now we'll discuss about the what are the role of biofertilizer or what role biofertilizer play in soil. Biofertilizer are known to play vital role in soil fertility and crop productivity. Like biofertilizer supplement chemical fertilizer for meeting nutrient demand of the crop. Biofertilizer replace 25 to 30% chemical fertilizer. As we are using biofertilizer, it replaces chemical fertilizer about 25 to 30%. As we directly break the use of chemical fertilizer, our soil productivity, or we can say our crop yield can be uh, minimized, so that slowly we can increase the use of biofertilizer and minimize the use of chemical fertilizer. In this way, biofertilizer minimize the use of chemical fertilizer. Biofertilizer decompose plant residue and stabilize carbon to nitrogen ratio of the soil. Use of biofertilizer result in the increased mineral and water uptake, root development and vegetative growth, and nitrogen fixation, as we have already discussed. Some biofertilizer like rhizobium, blue-green alga, azotobacter, they stimulate the production of growth promoting substances like vitamin B complex, indole acetic acid, gibberellic acid, and also help to maintain the soil fertility. So these are nothing but the role played by the biofertilizer when incorporated into the soil. Apart from that, phosphate solubilizing bacteria, fungi, and mycorrhiza convert insoluble soil phosphate into soluble form, due to which uh, crop yield can be increased up to 10 to 25%. They act as an antagonistic and suppress the incidence of soil-borne plant pathogens, and thus help in the biocontrol of diseases. Biofertilizers are cheaper, pollution-free, no adverse effect on the uh, crop plants or plant growth. They also improve the physical properties of soil, such as texture, soil tilth, and structure. They improve water holding capacity of soil, also improve the soil fertility and soil productivity, or you can say, in other words, crop productivity. Biofertilizer containing cellulosic and lignolytic microorganisms enhance the degradation of organic matter in soil. Azotobacter biofertilizer, when applied to many non-leguminous crop plants, promote the seed germination, as it is the part of uh, seed treatment. Biofertilizer play important role in the recycling of the uh, plant nutrients. So these are nothing but the role played by the biofertilizer when incorporated into the soil or used as a seed treatment part. So with respect to the either symbiotic nitrogen fixer or non-symbiotic nitrogen fixer, we can use particular biofertilizer with respect to the type of crop. So this is all about the biofertilizer. Next part we will discuss in